So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the studio training on AnyAudit software. We have with us the founder of AnyAudit with us. She is Siva Prasad ji. He is a chartered accountant and a CWA and has done LLB degree also and DISA also. He currently serves as a managing partner in a CA firm and is a founder of various startups. First is AnyAudit, second is Skill Up India, CollabNote, TaxResearch.in, and his expertise is further recognized through his role as a data scientist with then from Indian School of Business and his active participations in various committees including AP Andhra Pradesh State Grievance Redressal Committee for GST and is a chairman of Indirect Taxation Committee at FAP CCI. Prasad's professional journey includes significant roles as a lead consultant for the Andhra Pradesh commercial taxes, and his academic achievements are notable, with high ranks in CWA exams and multiple qualifications in auditing and law. His audit experience spans majorly in public sector undertakings and banks, and his demonstrating his proficiency in financial oversight and compliance. So overall, C.A. Siva Prasadji is a multifaceted professional having a rich blend of expertise in accounting, auditing, taxation, and technology, and making significant contribution to both industry and academia. So we welcome you, sir, to the studio training,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
It's nice
Thank
knowing
you.
you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thanks for that introduction and thanks for the opportunity to the institute and thanks for all the members to taking out for their time and then joining here. Thanks a lot.
So you may
Uh,
take over, sir. Currently, maybe chairman will also join in between. Otherwise, you can continue. Okay, sir.
sure.
Okay. Thank you.
So welcome all. So today we are going to go through um, some training, but it is not hands-on because you are not having the screen with you to play around. So because you are not having the screen to play around, I see that it is as slow as possible. And let us make it as interactive as possible. This is a series of 4 hours, today, 2 hours today and 2 hours tomorrow. In these 4 hours of time, I'll be taking you through an comprehensive tool, comprehensive software by name AnyAudit. The name of the product is AnyAudit, and that was a theme of the product as well. So it is an open-ended rule engine. How one solution will be able to cater to any sort of an audit. That was the first thing that we raise eyebrows on, like when we hear the word any audit. So how is it possible? Because it is totally a configurable rule engine. So there are multiple modules in that, and we will take it you through step by step. And I request all the members to see that the participation is continuous throughout, because there will be a lot of interlinkages. And if you are missing out any part in between, maybe the story may not be complete. And we also have some sort of an interactive session going on in the form of a poll, raising certain questions to you, asking you to participate, giving you yes or no answers, kind of a thing, so that the feedback will help steer the program in a better way. That was the whole objective. And I'm joined and helped by my colleague on the other side. You can see there any audit as one of the members. So the screen share will be by both of us. So whenever there is a lot of talking going on, so I take the help of my colleague, that he will share the screen and I will explain and I will do that part. Okay. So hope it is all good. Kindly leave some message in the chat which gives us a feedback that we are all on the same page. Yes, sir. Good to go. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Vijayant Kumarji. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Shirisha ji, welcome. Thanks a lot. Great. That's great. So I'm sharing the screen, taking you through like what any audit is all about and what it is all about. Yeah, just a moment, please. Yes. You are not sharing, right? I am sharing. Yes, you are sharing. Yeah, one second. So now this is the product is, we can't call it as one single product because it is a suite of products with multiple modules. There is data analytics, there is work allocation, there are financial statement generation and financial statement analysis. So a lot of things, everything that was mandated as per the regulatory framework is supported by that. So I just give a very brief introduction of what it is. So it is an unified and integrated platform for the auditors. Okay. So it was positioned like, yeah. So it was like, it is an ERP for an auditor. Okay. So far we have seen ERP for companies. So this will be ERP for auditors. And the concept is it is not starting or stopping with digitization. Digitization is a part of it. We are going for automation also. To what extent it is automation, we have to set our expectations right. Automation is possible to the extent possible. Let us see how it unfolds. And in the audit community, there is a famous quote. What we say is, not documented is not done. Okay. So we want to reverse that. That was a whole motto. So the whole objective of any audit is done is documented. So the moment something is done, the documentation is happening. It is not a documentation software. It is an execution software. So it is a platform to execute the audit. Execute करने के लिए platform है. So as and when we are executing the audit, the documentation, the work paper generation, the work allocation, and the finding management, all of them are happening behind the screens. So they're all incidental advantages. So that was a very high level bird's eye view of what the product is going to be. And there is an all-round automation, starting from your planning stage, to your report generation stage. There is an automation through. So there is automation in planning. There is automation in the way you execute the audit. There is an automation in the way you take a respective action for an finding that is emerging out of the audit. See what is the corresponding action that we are going to take. That is also automated. And most importantly, the drafting is automated. Okay. Again, when I say automatic, maybe the expectations are going like skyrocketing and then too high. So as we go along, we will see how the automation will help us or to what extent it will help us. And then documentation, of course. Documentation is an incidental advantage, as I said in the beginning. Okay. Now that's it. I'm skipping this part. How do we set up the software? How do we purchase the license? So all of that, we need not spend time of this precious training time on that. So just I'm making a point that there is some setting up of the software. It is a cloud-based. So you have to purchase the license and then there will be an installation. No installation on the desktop. There will be a separate instance in your name. Let us say my firm name is ABC and Co. ABC Associates. So I will get abc.anyaudit.in, which is an exclusive domain to that chartered accountant firm. And it will not contain any other firm's data. And this data will not be shared with anyone. It was totally encrypted, totally isolated, and then totally exclusive. Okay. So anyway, setting up of the software, I'm just skipping it off. Now, how do we perform? So perform kaise karenge? Now, in this terminology of any audit, because whenever we come up with some sort of an utility, some sort of a product, it will have its own terminology. It will have its own way to call things. Like how do we call? Of course, the names are very natural, but still because it is being used for the first time, maybe there will be some sort of an understanding. So therefore, we have put up this terminology. Of course, we will share the deliverables at the end of the session, that is tomorrow. So I'm just skipping the terminology also, but I keep coming to this slide. So this is my pointer slide. So just I'm introducing it. Okay. Now, what is the flow of the work? So how do we start and where do we end? So how the flow is going on? So I just read out the steps. So these are like our chapters to come. And after this, I pass a while to hear back from you. So the first step is setting up of the audit, setting up of the assignment. And the most important step is planning. So how do we plan the audit? how do we plan, be it a statutory audit, be it an internal audit, be it an GST audit or a tax audit? How do we plan that? So where from or how we plan it in any audit, that is our first step. So once the planning is done, then we will go for fact finding or fact collection. So the fact collection could be certain parameters. Fact finding could be certain parameters like what is the name of the company, when is a board meeting. It could be like that. It could be certain numerical numbers, or it could be certain qualitative numbers like whether the company had issued any deposits. So those kind of questions could also be there. So that is our third step, fact finding. Once the facts are fed to the system will do a lot of things automatically. Okay. So it will evaluate what provisions of Companies Act are applicable. Yes, sir, please. There was a hand raise. Hello. No? So shall I go ahead, sir? There is a hand raise from Institute, so I just had stopped. Maybe some announcement you wish to make, sir. Yes, we do share the notes. In Hindi, I'm not that proficient in Hindi. I'll try to mix it up or I try to, you can speak it in Hindi, not an issue. Uh, yes, sir. So I'm going ahead. So once the facts are collected, then the preliminary activities of the audit, like determination of the team, determination of who has to do what, determination of the permissions, and certain pre-engagement activities like independence confirmation. So all of that, the system will guide us through and it will be taking up automatically. Okay. Then we will collect the financials from the company in the form of a trial balance or in the form of a day book. There are multiple ways to do that. And it will generate the financial statements for an analytical review purpose. Okay. So the financial statement, determination of the materiality, and then collection of the financials is our fourth step. So this is how the sequence of the session will be going on. Then we are having the ledgers. So we will scrutinize the ledgers for any possible anomalies. And we will scrutinize the ledgers for say taking out the samples. And we will go through each ledger. We will go through each ledger running certain automated rules. So what is that and how is that possible? We will take us through. So the next step is take a sample for execution of the audit. And then we may go for internal control, capture, and risk assessment. For this session, I'm not going into that. Maybe at the end of tomorrow, I briefly keep up some 15 minutes of time for that internal control evaluation, process walkthroughs, and all. So I just first go with a very plain vanilla kind of a thing. Okay. Then we have to perform the audit. So when it comes to performance of the audit, we have broken down the audit steps into two. One, entity level procedures and transaction level procedures. Like for example, we have to check going concern. It's an entity level procedure. We have to check for disclosures. They are also at an entity level. Like I'm doing sales vouching or journal testing, they are at a transaction level. So when it comes to audit, there are two parts, entity level and transaction level. So when we are doing these procedures, we may come across certain findings, which we will record in an audit finding section. Then comes the finalization of the finding. Then comes the generation of the audit reports. Then the sign off and finally the documentation. So you can see there are 16 steps and the audit will go in this 16 step format. Okay. So this was a functional flow and this is our natural flow of audit. जो नेचुरल फ्लो था वही उसी को लेके हम ऑटोमेट और एनी ऑडिट ने ऑटोमेट किया सो कैसा करेंगे क्या क्या तरीका है व्हाट आर द फर्स्ट स्टेप एंड द सेकंड स्टेप सो प्लानिंग से लेकर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन तक कैसे हम ऑटोमेट कर सकते हैं और टू व्हाट एक्सटेंट ऑटोमेट कर सकते हैं we'll just go through that how is it I'm stopping the share so any hope the session theme is clear with everyone. Yeah, great. Thank you. So just your response will Yeah, keep us connected. Now, let us go into each one of the steps. Here, I'm just stopping the PPT and I'm going into the live application. Uh, I'll just demonstrate how the application do look like. So this is a look and feel of the application. Once we log in the name of our company, now you can see here intro.AnyAudit. Now, when you take it, it will be like, oh, sorry. Nishad, you please share this. Fine. Um, Now, this is a look and feel of the screen. You can see at the top, intro.anyaudit.co.in, intro.anyaudit.in. There are two sites. So, in the name of your firm, there will be one URL registered, and that is exclusive to you, that I have already said. Now, let us go to the right hand side. You can set your name of the company. Like here, it is MNO and Associates, Chartered Accountants. You can alter your name, and there is a lot that you can do there. So that is one corner. We'll go there. And then at the bottom layer, you see uh, select assignment to work is a main activity that is getting prompted. So this is where we get into performance of a work. But in order to get into performance of a work, there are certain setting up like creation of a user, giving permissions, and then setting up or deciding your checklist and questionnaire to be filled. So all of these are administrative steps. Maybe in your firm, one or two people may be looking into those kind of steps. So those steps are available outside in a sense, without even selecting a work. So once we select a work, an assignment to work, we will go into a work mode. So where we are executing the audit. So before we jump to that layer, so let us just browse through how the navigation will look like or how we can navigate it. Firstly, there is a left-hand menu, which you can expand. So there, all the options are available. How do you create a client? How do you create an assignment? How do you break up the assignment into multiple milestones? And for each of the milestones, there are plans. Now there are users. So your office users, and you will create users. Of course, we create users and then you maintain them. And then you give the permissions. And then there are settings. So settings is place where you define the way you have to perform the audit. So how the audit has to flow, that you can define for yourself and you can write any rule that you want. Okay, that is the beauty of the system. Then office management, like the attendance and then maintaining the job code, maintaining the timesheet. So like that, whatever is required for audit, that kind of office management and quality control features are also there. And then report. So so there is a left hand menu where from you can navigate. Okay. Now, it may be difficult for us to go through multi layers. So therefore, we have given one facility to navigate, or there is one facility to navigate. So that is direct navigation, which is the keyboard shortcut is Alt N. And we may be using this while in a training session. So therefore, I'm just want to make aware of that. Like for example, from this screen, I want to go to, let us say users. So I need not go to left hand side and then click on users and all. So I can simply hit one keyboard shortcut. There is only one keyboard shortcut in the whole application, Alt N, that is direct navigate. So if you press Alt N, there will be a search bar. You can type whatever you want and the system will intelligently take you to that particular screen. Like for example, I'm typing users. So I can go to external users, internal users, and user hub page. So if I click on users, I will directly go to that user page where I can do something relating to the users. So you can see here, there are a lot of users. There are about 22 users. And for each of the user, their user ID, mobile, email, HR value, hourly value, number of assignments, all of this can be maintained. Not only that, there is a permission acted. You see there on the right hand side, there is a permission icon. So for Bhagwan, I'm clicking on user permissions. So here I can define what all Bhagavan can do and what all Bhagavan cannot do. Okay. So therefore, it comes with a very detailed R&R module, roles and responsibilities module. Okay. You need not click each one of them because there are so many possible things. What you can do is you can simply define the permission matrix of Bhagavan. So you can go add a permission. Hmm. So you can simply define a template and you can create a template like articles, managers, partners, senior partners. So once you define Mr. Bhagwan as an article student, all the permissions that you want to give to article student will apply. So he will be able to do only that much and he will not be able to do anything other than that. Okay. Anyway, coming back to the main theme. So we are discussing navigation. So how do I navigate? So from this, if I want to go to settings, there are two ways. One, I can go to left hand menu and then go to settings, go to left hand menu, go to settings. And from the settings, I can come to whatever the settings I want. Or there is another way. Please go to user screen again, just to demonstrate that. So I am in user screen. From there, if I want to directly jump to checklists as a setting, I can simply click on direct navigation, Alt N, and then I can straight away type whatever I want or wherever I want to go. And clicking there, I will just navigate to that particular screen with all ease. Okay. So this way it becomes very seamless to navigate from one screen to another screen. Now, coming back to the home screen, I can come to the home screen by clicking on that left-hand side icon. So if you click on that left-hand side icon, you will come to the first screen. So that is another way to navigate. Okay. So this is a little bit on navigation. Anyway, let us come into a work mode. Let us select one assignment and then go to perform that assignment. Okay. So before I go into the second step, so we have completed the first step. How do we log in? How do we navigate in the system? So any questions on this? If we will take questions section by section, it will be easy for us and the story makes something, the narrative will be easy for you to follow and the interest will also be live. Any questions on how do we log in? How do we navigate? How do we set the permissions? No. Yeah, will system capture the user attendance? The answer is yes, sir. So we have given one program schedule also, like what topics we cover today and what topics we cover tomorrow. So we will go as per that. To answer your question immediately, the system will capture user attendance. The system will capture time. The system will also capture the cost and revenue of the audits also. But everything is optional. You can switch it on or you can switch it off. That is your choice. Okay. So nothing is forced. Nothing is forced. You can switch on any module. You can switch off any module. Just like how in SAP, you take FICO module. So similarly in any audit, you can switch on any module. You can switch off any module. Yeah. The answer is yes, sir. Any other questions on logging in and navigation? How do I navigate? Yeah. We come to that those questions, sir. What about confidentiality of the client data uploaded on the cloud? So there was a detailed section on that. To answer, every care had been taken. It is ISO certified. The data is on Amazon cloud and your data is exclusive and the whole data is encrypted. And going forward, maybe in the month of October or so, we are okay even to give your own cloud also. Okay. As of now, it is on Amazon cloud. We are only managing the cloud. None of the people, except for the founder and the CTO, none of them will have the encryptor keys also. And then it is all logged. You know, Amazon is an most powerful this one. Can client also be made? Yeah. Yes, sir. User can also upload, user can also access. So just we will go one step backward. Agarwal sir, I'm going one step backward. I'm logging out. Yeah, I'm just logging out to answer your question. Now there are two logins, user login, external user login. So you can give your users, your clients also a login. So they can come to that external user login and then they can raise a query, answer your queries, also upload the data. So that is one way. Apart from these logins, let us say you want to write balance confirmations to bankers, balance confirmations to AR, AP, accounts receivable, payable. So where you may not be giving logins for them. So there we will shoot out OTP based login, means there is no login required. So they will simply enter their phone number and OTP and they can also log in. So there are two external user logins are there. So we will cover them up. The answer to your question is the clients can very well upload the data. You can ask for any question from the client and they can upload the data there itself. Okay. Yeah. So logging in. Logging out. Yeah. Now we are going again logging in. Now I'm straight away going to select an assignment to work. So once I select an assignment to work, you can see the user is demo checker. So this demo checker will have access only to the assignments to which a permission had been given. Otherwise, if you give a permission to one particular team member A, he will access only that much. Now you can see there are various kinds of audits that can be performed. Okay. There are internal audits like KPM internal audit. There is a limited review which can be performed. There are quarterly assignments that can be performed. There is an GST audit that can be performed, like HYZ Private Limited GST audit. And then there is a statutory audit that can be performed. And that is how it makes any audit. So the nature of the audit, it could be even a non-audit also. It could be a certification also. Okay. It could even be a due diligence assignment or evaluation assignment also. So let us see with the time how one singular system is able to cater to such a kind of different types of audits. Okay. I'm intentionally going a bit slow. One language to be like Hindi, English and all of that. And then secondly, the whole concept is that we have to internalize that and then you should get an opportunity to present the question. So I'm intentionally going slow. Now we take up one statutory audit, which is already existing. So I will show how it looks like. And then for demonstration purpose, I will create a blank assignment and do it in front of you as well. So Nishant, please select some statutory audit. Let us create a cloud test. Let us create a cloud test. No. First, let us show what is already existing. Then we will create from the scratch. Yeah. So we have selected ABC Limited. Yeah. You can see here on the top of it, ABC Limited statutory audit. That was the assignment. And then now we have already selected an assignment. We are in a working mode. Okay. So this environment is different. Now let us first understand the environment, how it is. So again, there is a left-hand menu. So if you click on that left-hand menu, the sections of the steps, what I have said in a flow, planning, scoping, financial statements, data analytics sampling, internal control testing, audit execution, audit findings, audit reports, and then documentation. Okay. Maybe in my slide, there are 16 steps, 2-3 steps were into this. So on the left-hand side menu, you can navigate through. So those were the steps. So you can plan, you can generate financials. And then, of course, generate financials is not to take a print because in an audit module, that is not there. There is a standalone separate utility for that. I'll go into that. Now, coming back to the first screen. Okay. So here, the first and the foremost thing is teams and settings. So where we define who are the participants of this audit in your office. Okay. So you can see on right hand side, the engagement partner. So he is the in charge of the whole audit. So the one person, so as per auditing standards, engagement partner is the one who is charged with the responsibility to sign the audit report. Okay. And then a review partner. So there is an inbuilt EQCR system or a review system in this utility, AnyAudit. So there is a review mechanism. And then managers of the audit. Managers of the audit are more like giving permissions, taking the permissions off. So it is not audit manager in your office. Maybe in your office, audit manager could be a different meaning. Here, manager is manager of this job. And then who are all the makers, who are all the checkers, and who are the external team who can access this particular audit. Of course, they cannot log in into an audit, but then they can log in into their own page where the questions you raise, they can answer, and the documents you ask for, they can upload. Okay, so we will cover complete them step by step. Now coming to left hand side, certain basic details are there: name, period, start date, end date of the audit, and the financial framework that we are using. Very, very important. So the system supports any sort of a framework. So it could be a non-corporate entity, it could be a bank, it could be a trust, it could be a private limited company, it could be a partnership company, oh, sorry, partnership, or it could be an India's entity. Okay, so it supports any framework, and you can create a new framework or modify the existing framework also. That was a beauty. Now, going a bit upward, scope of the engagement. So here is where we define what steps are involved in this audit. Okay. So once this setting is over, which is a one-time activity, we will go to the next step, that is engagement plan. Engagement plan. Now, auditing standards ask or require us that every audit has to be planned and the plan has to be documented. Okay. Now you see here, once we go to the planner, there is a beautifully laid plan within chapters, milestones, and then there was a beautiful tree structure. So the first chapter is acceptance and initiation. And within that, and within that, there is a milestone. So once you collapse that chapter, the next chapter is scope of the engagement. And then so the audit plan, step by step, what has to be done is documented. Okay. How do we create this plan? Shall we have to create the plan from the scratch? The answer is no. There is lot of automation in planning. Now, on the right hand side, there are 4 buttons: add a procedure, import a procedure, import template, and borrow from another assignment. Okay. In that, there is import audit template or import audit master. So once we click on that, you can select the kind of the audit that you are performing. You can select multiple also. Like you may be doing statutory audit and tax audit both at a time, possible. Okay. So here you will select the audit pack or audit plan or audit template. There are different names people call with different names. So you can select what is the kind of an audit that you want to perform. Like for example, you select statutory audit division 1 schedule 3. All steps that are to be done as per division 1 schedule 3 will be imported by the system automatically. So our job is only to select a template. Just 1 minute, the whole audit plan will be documented by the system. And it is not a simple documentation also. I'll go into deep into that. You have all the required drafts like engagement letter draft, no objection letter, letter to the previous auditor, including those drafts will also be borrowed by the system into this pack. Okay. So what all we have to do is go to a new assignment, select an appropriate template, submit. Your audit plan is done in a minute. Okay. Because we have already done that, there is lot of data in a planning. Now, just to demonstrate, we will create one blank assignment from the scratch without any planner, and we will do the planning live, active. So, Nishan, please go log off, log out, create a new job, create a new job as yeah. Select some client. So let us take the example of a statutory audit. So now I'm creating a blank new assignment. So I'm creating, going forward, I'm creating for 26, 27. So here I will decide my team. Who is the engagement partner, reviewer, manager? Of course, within the system also you can change, or here also you can define. So I'm creating my own name, demo checker, as the engagement partner, and I'm giving demo in charge as a reviewer. And with this little data, I'm just creating a new job. That's it. So a new job had been created, PQR Limited Statutory Audit. And you can see there is a number also for that assignment 51. So because it is easy for chartered accountants to call things in numbers. So that feature is also given. So the job ID is 51. So once I click on that, I will get into the job. I'll get into the job. Now it is asking whether you want to set it all and all. Just for the time being, I'm skipping that step. I'm going into that. Now this is a blank planner. Now I am on an open table. No audit plan is there. First, we have to create the audit plan. What steps are to be done? What are all the basic steps, or what are all the steps as envisaged by the audit? Okay, clear, right? Now, I'm just creating a plan, or I'm just creating the audit plan first by borrowing a relevant audit pack. So go to the third button, import template, and borrow the kind of an audit that you want to perform. Like, for example, statutory audit, division 1, schedule 3. So the moment I click on that, the system will draft the whole audit plan, right from engagement, acceptance to the sign off and tarot. Every single step is created by the system. Just it will take 1 minute of time. Okay. The main problem is of SMPs or even mid-sized entities is the time and the manpower. Okay. Here we won't miss any step. It is not like simply creating the steps. It is in fact creating the working papers also. So let us see how much of work the system will do it. It will take a minute of time. So let us please wait and see it in action. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can pose it on that. So now we are in the step of audit planning. Beautiful, isn't it? So every single step, right from acceptance, chapter 100, engagement acceptance procedure, and scroll it up a bit. Next chapter, SA 500. And you see that all audit standards are not dumped at one place. The audit standards are also coming as per the work that we are doing. Like for example, in engagement plan, SA 200 had come. When you go to subsequent events, SA 560 had come. Okay. Now, on the left hand side, on the topmost left hand side, there is a WPR, which means working paper reference. Okay. For every one of these steps, the system had already created working paper references. So when you create in Excel or Word, how do you number that Excel file or printout? Very difficult. Okay. Now the system had already created that based on that placement. Now, if you move one step up and down, the numbers will be modified accordingly. Now it is not like some text is there and we have written, like for example, engagement risk assessment checklist. It is not a simple step. If you click on that, you will actually go to that particular step. Like if you click on SA 210, we will actually go to performance of SA 210. And if you click on that, the institute checklist will come up. So yeah, click on that. Now you can see on left hand side, the questions are there that are to be posed. And on the right hand side, you can answer them. Okay. And then who can do this? You can see there is a maker and a checker. Please highlight maker and checker. There is a maker and a checker. Only the maker and checker will be able to do that. Of course, for demonstration purpose, I have given all permissions to myself for the performance of a demo. Otherwise, you can go to the top right hand side. Top right, there is a Teams icon. So if you click on the Teams icon, this will work for managers and engagement partners. So they will decide who is the maker and who is the checker of this job. Okay. Now you may ask, it will be very difficult to define the maker and checker for each of the jobs. So for that, there are a lot of shortcuts. So please go back to the planner again. So how to go back to the planner? Click on a home button, you will go to the planner. So planner is a starting document and planner is the ending document. Every work we do is mapped and we are tracking it alongside the planner. Okay. So for each of the steps here, like appointment letter by the company, it was borrowed by the system. You have seen it from the blank. Now, if you click on that appointment letter by the company, there will be a draft appointment letter already pre-drafted by the system. Already pre-drafted by the system. You can see here date, appointment of a statutory auditor. We are pleased to inform. So this we will obtain from the party. This we will obtain from the company. So there is a draft appointment letter already brought in by the system. Like that, right from the first step to the last step. How do you verify inventory? How do you verify plant and machinery? How do you verify borrowings? So like that, every one of the step is there and there is a working module there. Like if you click on like audit of financial statements, go to audit of property, plant and equipment, you see AS10 based checklists have come because we said that we borrowed division 1. Now, if you borrow division 2 audit plan, all Ind AS will come. Now, if you borrow GST audit, all GST related checklists will come. Now, you may ask one question here, who had defined the checklists? Whether the software vendor, AnyAudit has to define or you can define. Well, the answer is both ways. AnyAudit had defined it for the benefit of all the subscribers, whereas the subscribers can go create their own checklist, their own templates. Now here, how many templates are there? Nishant, just click on import template. So there are certain templates like internal audit template is there, tax audit template is there, GST audit template is there. Now let us say NBFC audit template is not there. How do we create an NBFC audit template? Can you create your own template or you have to call AnyAudit and they have to create? You need not call AnyAudit. You can go create your own settings. You can go create your own rules. So advanced users, they can create their own templates. Whereas the entry level users, they can simply plug and play. They can simply use the template that is available and move on. Okay. Now we will spend another 5 to 10 minutes on planning and then we will go to actual execution of that. Okay. Maybe at around 4, we will have a small pause, like 2 minutes or so, just as a break or just as to internalize. Not a full break, but just a little pause. Now, on planning side, there are a lot of things on the screen. Let us first understand the setting of the screen. Engagement program, what steps are to be done? And then who is the in charge of that? You can see every step, every step. Yeah, yes, please. Any questions, sir? Can we add or modify any of the existing? Exactly, yes. You can tell now we will do it hands-on. Like what you want to delete us, what you want to add us, we will do it right away. Okay, so just as an example, need not be what you call exact requirement. We can add and modify anything. That's what I'm just going to explain. So I'm just first explaining the screen by screen so that you will be able to follow me when we go ahead in our program. Now, after the in charge, the next column is the score. The scoring is like how much work of that particular step is completed. Now, if you submit appointment letter, second, if you submit independence confirmation, then if you submit letter of expression, the steps will turn into green. Okay. And then what is the next step? Performance. Whether that work is performed or not performed. Okay. So let us say I click on one of them and I have performed it. I will mark as a performance. I need not come here. I can go into that particular step, perform. System will automatically capture the performance. What is the next column? Sign off. So the moment it is, sorry. Yeah. The next column is the sign off. So when the performance is over, whoever is a head partner can close that. And once it is closed, no more modifications are permitted by any one of them except the engagement partner because he is the ultimate. So he can reopen also. Apart from the engagement partner, if it is signed off, no one else can do that. And there is an EQCR, Engagement Quality Control Review, which is now made mandatory and which weighs a lot in our AQMM scores and all. So EQCR, you can have a review partner who can click on that and write his review notes. Okay. Now, there are 4 actions. One, two, three, four actions. Edit, teams, attachments, and working papers. Those are the 4. Okay. Of course, this is like an training and then a walkthrough. So when we do a little bit of a workshop kind of a thing, then we will even more, it will be even more clear. So now on a Teams icon, you can decide who can do this, who can do this job, or who has to do this job. Like for example, I'll go to the P5, that is procedure number 5, no objection letter from previous auditor. Who has to do this or who has to get it done? Now, if you click on a Teams icon, you can decide who can be the maker and the checker. Okay, so there is a maker and a checker. You can select, all the team members will come. You can select any one of them as maker and checker. Now, you may feel like to do like this will take a lot of time. To do like this will take a lot of time. Can I select 5 or 6 steps and then give user permissions all at once? Yes, absolutely possible. So come to the left-hand side, there are checkboxes. Select a few of them. So I'm selecting 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to add a user. So I can give who has to do this, and I can change the in charge of that from, I can select the in charge and then change the in charge to someone else. Like for example, from demo checker, I'm changing into demo in charge. So all of the steps will change at one place. So I can say save. Now, one common problem faced by chartered accountants is that while the audit is halfway through, some person will leave and another person will join. Okay, maybe article students going on leaves, or maybe some other requirement. So how do we do that? So there is a very, very useful feature and it will save a lot of time and effort. So you can select and then swap the user. So swapping an user is like, I'm swapping user 1 to user 2. So let us say Mr. A is going on leave and I'm saying that all open steps of Mr. A shall be reallocated to Mr. B. I can do it in one single step. And once B logs in, he will have access to that and he will perform. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going deep into this. Just by looking at this, now you are in a position to relate like how, what you call, how comprehensive the system of planning is all about. Okay. Now, in our PowerPoint presentation, we said that documentation का जरूरत ही नहीं है. Okay. If you do, documentation is already happening. There is no question of documentation. Like for example, I want to create a document for one of these steps, like letter of expression of interest. I want to create a document. You can come to the last step, click on a PDF icon. It will generate the PDF document. So let us say letter of expression of interest. I'm going to 4th step. Yeah. So if I click on download the working paper, you can download the working paper at any point of time, which means that you need not download it at all. So now if I click there, it will generate the working paper in a format exactly prescribed by institute. Now go to the documents. No? Downloads. Yeah, go to the downloads. Now this is a document that is generated. You can see PQR Limited on left hand side. Name of your firm, MNO Associates on the right hand side. Working paper references. Who had prepared signed off review? We have not done, therefore they are blank. Letter of expression of interest. If you scroll it up a bit, the actual letter of expression, whatever is there, that letter of expression is also there as a working paper. Okay. So this way, for any steps, whether it is permanent file, whether it is current file, whether it is audit of sales, whether it is audit of property, plant and machinery, for every step, the document is available or can be generated at any point of time. Now we have seen these icons. We have seen these icons: performing, sign off, review, edit, teams, attachments, and PDF generator. All these icons are available in every single screen also. Again, like if I go to one of them, any one of them, for example, independence confirmation. Now, if I click on them, you can see at the bottom, there is a perform, sign off, review. So you can review it within the working paper, or you can review it at the planner at a high level. So similarly, on the top of it, you can see there is a Teams icon, there is an attachment icon, and there is a PDF icon. Okay. So therefore, you can do all of these steps either sitting in an engagement planner at a global level, or you can go into that and perform it at a local level. Okay. So back to the planner. I just go back, go to the planner. Now, what steps we have done so far? Of course, in explanation, it had taken 15 minutes, but in only 1 minute, I have opened a new assignment plan. I came here and I have imported the template. I imported the template, the relevant template that is required. Now, someone in the had asked for a question. Can I modify any of the existing one? Yes, I can do that. Like for example, I just want to remove no objection letter. The fifth one, I just want to remove it. So go on to edit. In the edit, there are a lot of options. There is a delete icon there. Click. Of course, this action is permitted only for certain users, not an article student or someone can, everyone can do this. So now if I delete it, it will go off the face. So it is asking, do you want to delete all the attached findings, procedures, memos, communications, and all? I said yes, it was deleted. Now you can see there is no such a procedure called no objection letter. So similarly, if I want to add one more step, I can import a procedure, single procedure. So I can click on import a procedure. I can select what is the kind of a procedure I want to import, like whether it is a checklist or, so if I say checklist, I can access all the checklists available in the library. There are about 1,000 checklists available in the library. So you can go for AS11, AS12, SA, whatever the kind of a checklist that are available in the library that you can borrow. Okay. So Kumar sir, I hope I answered your question. The planner is not static. You can modify the planner at any point, right? Still, we are not into exact audit. I'm just explaining how do we navigate or what is what of that. Now, let us say you want to create a PDF, not single PDF, but if you want to create a chapter wise PDF, like if you want to create 10 steps in one go. Okay. So you want to create all acceptance and initiation chapter 100 as one single PDF. So click on that at the head. If you click at the head, it will generate the whole of that in one single go and it will get downloaded. Okay. So that option is also there. So far, what we have discussed is how do we log in, how do we navigate, how do we create an assignment, and how do we plan. Now, we will go to execution and the other steps forward. So just to pause here, any questions and any inputs? Hope it is going fine, the pace and the. Yeah, so there was a question. Do we have an option to select applicable, not applicable? Some of the procedures may not be applicable to service industry, manufacturing, skip option. Beautiful question, sir. You have just asked my next topic. Thanks for that. Yeah. In fact, it is not downloading the whole set. It is an automation. So it is not downloading the all. It has downloaded the procedures that are applicable in every case. Okay. So it has downloaded only such steps that are applicable in every case. So I will show the automation part of that. I'll show the automation part of that a little while. Yeah. Any questions? Any further questions? I've taken your questions, sir. That is my next topic. So I'm not elaborating that. Yeah, just a quick word from CMP side on the panelist. It is all going fine, sir. Just a heads up, please. Like the pace, the way it is going on and all. Fine. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Now, because this is a blank assignment, PQR Limited is a blank assignment, it will take a lot of time for me to create everything. So just to give a feel of creating from the blank, from the scratch, I came here. So let us go back to one existing assignment so that some data is there and we can play with that data. So as and when I want to demonstrate something new, I will come here. For demonstrating something already existing, I'll go there. So please log into statutory audit, ABC. So maybe tomorrow we will touch upon some other sort of audits like tax audit and GST audit to some extent. Yeah. True. Okay. Just few seconds, please. I'm just. Yeah. Now, so this is ABC Limited statutory audit. Again, we are in a engagement planner, which is our, as I said, it is a starting document and a closing document. And now there are a lot of text to be given, like appointment letter, independence confirmation. All of these are to be filled. Shall I go to each document and fill it up, or is there any automation? So now we have seen about automation in planning. So similarly, automation in drafting. So shall I have to go to each document and fill it up individually, which is very time taking for me? Okay. Yeah, sir. Even for SMPs, it is affordable. We'll come to that later. Uh, and this was this was developed keeping the all the practical considerations, practical issues in consideration. Now, shall I have to fill every one of them, or is there any other shortcut? There is a beautiful shortcut which is called facts, collection of the facts. So you can see after the planner, there is calendar, cost and revenue, MIS reports. I'm skipping all of them because I can't cover everything. Even 4 hours, we can't cover. Once the important things are done, you can easily relate how the other things will be. So the facts is an area where you collect the facts and give them in a system. You feed them in a system. Now you go to facts. This is very, very draw attention of all the members because of its importance. Yeah. Now here, so there are certain questions, certain questions are in numbers, certain questions are in text. Like for example, name of the previous auditor. You can see there is a question, name of the previous auditor. So here I have put BCD and address of the previous auditor. and there is date of AGM, and then financial year end in text. Okay. And then like that, there are a number of things that are asked in UDIN of the audit report. So there is a small collection of audit facts. If you fill them here, the system will take these inputs and will do lot of automation. Okay. The provisions of Companies Act, it will fill all the drafts. Like if I put BCD and go here, I'll change BCD to ABC. Name of the previous auditor as ABC. Now my letter to previous auditor gets modified and modified with ABCD. Okay. So I need not go to create every document from the scratch. First, the document itself is borrowed from the library. Second, wherever there is a variable part, I'm not even going into the document to fill it up. I'm coming to the facts and then fetching all the facts. Then I will go to the document, by which time 90% of the document is anyway ready, both with static text and as a variable text. Maybe I have to review it and then take a printout of that, and or not even taking a printout of that, I can simply say that it is done, sign off. I can simply sign off. Okay. Now let us go to take the previous auditor, letter to the previous auditor, check in reality whether it is filled or not. So similarly, I will also take few Companies Act provisions and check if they are applicable or not. So all 10, letter to previous auditor or previous auditor. Yeah, no objection letter to be given by the previous auditor. So we are preparing it that and then asking in a template, let us say. Now, if you go to the template, you can see that the names of them are already filled in. So yours faithfully for ABCD. Okay, so it is being done by ABCD to us. So we are preparing the letter in their format. So therefore, it was pre-filled. Okay, so and if you can take it into Word form, you can take it into PDF form. You can take it into PDF form for documentation purpose. You can take it into Word form for sending them and then getting a signature of that. Okay. So therefore, what happens is, if you fill the facts, all the documentation that is required to be maintained will be filled to the maximum possible extent. Only thing you have to do is go through each of the document, check if it is in proper form or not, and then close it off. So this is one part of the story. Another beautiful part of the story is evaluation of the provisions of the Companies Act. Okay, this is very powerful. So this saves lot of time, and this also adds lot of insight to the articles or whoever is doing the audit in a very beginning stages of audit. Now there is one heading called decisions. The software will evaluate what provisions are applicable and what provisions are not applicable to this audit. Like for example, because it is a statutory audit, you see whether mandatory audit committee under section 177 of Companies Act is applicable or not. System had already evaluated, saying it as yes. Whether internal audit is applicable, the system is saying it as yes. And there is one question in a chat box. Something is applicable and something is not applicable. So why should I dump the whole program? The system is not dumping whole program. Based on the facts, the audit plan will change. Based on the facts, so it was a very unique and what you call very original innovation to say, so as to say. Okay, to our knowledge, only thing available today. Now you can see a lot of them are applicable, yes, but then stakeholder relationship committee, the answer is no. Corporate social responsibility, the answer is no. Why the answer is no? Maybe some of the provisions or some of the numbers are not matching there. Okay, so let us go into one or two just for the sake of looking into it. So why the audit committee is applicable to this case? Why the audit committee is applicable? Even why the audit committee is applicable, the system is showing all the provisions. Because the company is a listed company, you can see here at the top, the company is a listed company. Okay. Because the company is a listed company, the audit committee is applicable. Of course, not a listed company, in fact. Okay, just for demonstration purpose, we put it like this. So Let us keep decisions page at one place. Now let us go to the facts, change the facts, change the facts. So I'm going to another screen, clicking on facts again, and I'm changing the type of the company from public limited company to a private limited company. So I'm changing the nature of the company from public limited to private limited. Similarly, I can fetch the details of turnover, fetch the details of borrowings. Of course, if it is from balance sheet, you need not even given that it will pick up from the balance sheet directly. If it is not from the balance sheet, then whether the company had accepted deposits, like number of stakeholders, industry to which the company belongs. So based on that, the system will automatically evaluate all the applicable provisions. Okay. Now, there could be a question. What happens if there is a change in a rule? Again, can you write your rules? It is an open-ended audit system. People are using it for cyber security audit. People are using it for other countries also. So you can build any rule that you want. Of course, for SMPs, we have already written Companies Act rules and income tax rules, so you can use them straight away. If you want to modify, modify. Otherwise, you can use. If you want to create your new. Now we have changed it to private limited company. Now most of our applicability under the provisions of the Companies Act are earlier, yes. Now let us go back to the same screen. Yeah, let us go back to the same screen. So we have to go to decisions screen. I'm going to decisions. Now you see lot of them had turned into no. No, no, no. But you see GSTR 9C, GSTR 9 and 9C are applicable. ICOFER is still applicable. Okay. So you need not even worry about what is applicable and not. Whether it is a private limited company, what is a so some rules are based on share capital, some rules are based on borrowing, some rules are based on something else. Okay, so our step one is pick up a proper audit plan. Step two is fill the facts. So by this, just by doing this 15 minutes of job, almost 100% of the planning is over. Almost 50 to 60% of the standard documentation is over, and our tone for the audit is set. Even people say that in a very small audit, why is it required? Okay. It won't cost us much. Maybe earlier it is costing, or maybe earlier it is difficult to do all of these procedures. Now, if you want to generate a document, what decisions are taken by you? What evaluations on applicability are evaluated by the auditor? So you need not even worry. You have taken only 2 minutes to give some 10 or 15 facts like share capital, turnover, industry, nature of the entity, number of stakeholders, whether deposits accepted or not, or maybe whether exports are there, maybe whether SEZ sales are there. So when you say SEZ sales are not there, the checklist will not come into engagement planner. If you say SEZ sales are there, then based on that, based on the data, the audit plan will change. Okay, so the engagement plan that you have downloaded on day one is not static. It will move along the audit. Based on the way you perform the audit plan will change. Okay, now for all of these evaluations, we call it as applicability, evaluation of applicability. Now, if you want to generate documentation for that, tomorrow peer reviewer, or you have to submit it to some other body or whatever, you need not even worry about that. Again, sticking to our basics, done is documented. So if you come there, click on a download PDF. So it will generate not for single decision, but for all the decisions. And it will generate all the facts also. Now you see ABC Limited, MNO Limited, how many decisions are evaluated and what is the answer of each of the decision. What is the answer of the decision for this year? What is the answer of the decision for the last year? Even previous year figures are borrowed for that. And how each decision is evaluated. Like 9C, it is applicable and so and so. 139 is applicable in so and so such settings. And you can see all working papers are numbered. The working paper reference 120005004. You need not even worry about that. Okay. And people are now stop taking printouts also. There is no sense in taking a printout. It is available in a system. You can take it at any point of time in future if required. Okay. So we covered about 3 steps. So Nisha, just give the screen to me. I'll go to the PPT once. So this is our functional flow. We covered 4 things. The first, this one is completed. Setting up, how do we set up, login, planning, very simple. Select 1 or 2 templates. If you select statutory audit template, can you select tax audit also? Answer is yes. Can you select GST also? Answer is yes. If you select GST, the additional steps on GST will come and sit again. Now let us say engagement letter, one single engagement letter is doing for both, then it will not come. Okay. So what additional steps? By selecting a planner, it will come. The third step we discussed is about facts. So collection of the facts. The collection of the facts had got lot of automation within that. It will generate, it will add lot to the planning, it will add lot to the documentation, it will change the course of the audit. The next one is a preliminary activities, which means that oh, sorry. Yeah. The next one is preliminary activities like independence confirmation, letter to previous auditor, knowledge of the business, risk assessment. So all of those things, as I said, based on the planning itself, based on step 2 itself, they are all there in our folder. Based on the facts, they are all filled in also. You can go have a quick look at it. And if you are done with it, call it as a complete thing. So we are now done with 25% of our job. Setting up planning, facts, and preliminary activities, we are done. Okay. Now, the next step is collection of data and understanding the data. Now, data is of 2 ways. As I have already said, this is not for statutory audit alone. It is for any sort of an audit. Okay, people are using it, as I said, people are using it for income tax scrutinies, people are using it for forensic, people are using it for what you call uh, internal audits. So I can collect any sort of data. So the data can come from 2 sources. Now I am talking about 5th and 7th items, financials and data. Okay, so the data can come from 2 ways. The data can come from financials, that is debit, or the data can come from any singular random source. Like I go to some entity, their fixed asset register is maintained in Excel. They give the fixed asset register down. Their investments are in an Excel, they share the data. Let us say they are having SAP and then their sales orders or purchase orders is in an Excel file. Okay, or it is in Oracle, I can get it downloaded into Excel. Okay, so how do I collect the data? How do I collect the data if it is from the accounting package? How do I collect the data if it is not from accounting package? And how do I pick up the samples out of it? And once I pick up the samples, how do I start my audit on that? So that is what we are going to cover in the rest of the part today. And the balance of it will be covered tomorrow. Okay. Maybe whatever is relevant for me to cover, I will go into that also. So just to, in setting what we have seen, a quick recap. In a setting, we have selected the team members who will do what. We have defined the scope. We have selected the locations, departments, if any. Now, when it comes to planning, we have selected an appropriate template. And if few steps are applicable or not applicable, we have removed them up. And the sequence, if you want to move the steps up and down, you can do that. That will regenerate the working paper numbering. Now, collection of the facts, you will go to the facts page, collected the facts. All decisions based on the facts are automatically evaluated by the software and necessary effects are also taken. Then the drafts like letter to previous auditor, engagement letter, they are all auto-filled to the maximum possible extent. You have to verify them for their appropriateness or propriety and take a decision. And after that, we are into preliminary activities. So we have completed the preliminary activities based on that, like checkout activities relating to appointment. Okay, so this we are now we are deciding on the data part of that. So now I am going into the next step of data. So Nishant, can you please share the screen? So let us again go back to the left-hand side navigation on AnyAudit. So the second step is financial statement. The third step is raw data collection. So we will take both of them. Okay. First, let us go with financial statements. So in financial statements, the financial statement data can come in multiple varieties and in multiple directions. Okay. Yeah. Before I go, there is something that I have to add on navigation. So we have given one in context menu. Okay. So let us say I'm in financial statements. There is a small green icon you can see on the top. So it will show it is like a quick access. So because I'm in financial statements, everything relating to financial statements will come, like chart of accounts, trial balance, rectifications, inter-unit entries, reclassifications. So that is like a small menu, and the contents of the menu will change from screen to screen. So let us say I am in my internal control. I am in my internal control. I go for testing. Of course, I'm not going into that. Just to explain this icon I came. So here you see risk assessment, heat map, risk register, control register. The contents will change. So whatever is immediately relevant for you, that we have power packed and kept it in a menu, which we call it as an in context menu. So that also you can navigate. Okay. Yeah. Now I am going to financial statements. The system had shown certain financial statements because I have already uploaded the data. Now, how can I upload the data in this? Okay. So there are multiple ways, multiple possibilities. One of them is, so click on that in context menu. Yeah. I can go upload my trial balance or table. Okay. So it is, all options are available because any sort of an engagement, once it is like a, once you get into this, you will be able to do anything. So therefore, we have given all the possibilities. You can upload the trial balance, or you can upload the daybook. You can upload multiple trial balances also. Yeah. Now we are going here. You can see on the top, upload trial balance in Excel. So that is one option. If your trial balance is in Excel, you can upload that. Upload daybook as an Excel. If your daybook is in Excel, you can upload that. The next one is upload daybook as a JSON. Like if for Tally, we are giving an exclusive plugin. That plugin will capture the data from Tally. So exactly the questions are that I'm answering the same one. So upload daybook as JSON. So if you click here, you have to upload the JSON that you have obtained from Tally. So how do we do that? That is possible only for Tally. For Tally, we are giving that plugin. So please go to Tally Prime. Yeah, first you show the plugin. So this is one plugin. You can see .tcp file. This works on Tally Prime and Tally 9. So we will, AnyAudit will give this at the time of subscribing. So you can run this exe file on your Tally. If you run this on your Tally, 2 new buttons are added to your Tally gateway. Now, if you go to Tally Prime, now 2 line items are added. You can see on Tally. Generate trial balance as a JSON. Generate trial balance with daybook as a JSON. You can do as you like. If you upload to TB, only trial balance is downloaded and it will get downloaded in very like 1-2 minutes. If you download the daybook, then it may take some time, like 5 to 10 minutes of time, depending on your tally data. So there is no connection between AnyAudit and tally so far. Okay, except for the software we are giving them the plugin. So once you install the plugin, generate the JSON, it will generate the JSON. So let us take one company, test company, and generate a JSON. Okay. So select the to date and a from date. So it had downloaded. You can see test 1st April 22 to 31st March trial balance as a JSON. You can see the file size 8.39 KB. It's a small data. So like that, we have got all of these are downloaded from Tally. You can see Vinayaka Communications, all of them are downloaded from Tally. So similarly, if you click on the next option, next button, which we have shown, so that will generate both the trial balance and JSON. Okay, so it depends on how much of audit or what kind of audit you want to do. Okay, now coming back to the system. So here the options are upload trial balance as Excel or upload trial balance as JSON. Both options are there. Okay, now let us do one by one. Let us upload a TB trial balance as an Excel file. So for every batch, for every upload, you have to give a batch number and also a location, because AnyAudit supports multi-division or multi-location. Let us say there is a head office, there is Hyderabad branch and Vijayawada branch. Okay. Now, what if Hyderabad branch is using Tally and what if Vijayawada branch is using some, let us say, Zoho? Okay. What if one is using Excel and one is using some other package? Okay. You can upload one trial balance in JSON format, one trial balance in Excel format. Any combination is okay. And you upload 3 or 4 trial balances, all of them are consolidated and financials are generated. Financials are generated in an on a consolidation basis. Now I have uploaded a trial balance. You can see it was in an unloaded batch, I mean not a loaded batch. Loaded, not loaded. Okay. Why is it not loaded? Anything that you upload will get parked in the bottom table first, because the data could be erroneous. The data could be having lot of issues. Okay. So therefore, first we keep it on unloaded batches. Now, it is in Excel. We don't know what column names are there in Excel. We have not given any standard template. Okay. So there is no standard template. You have uploaded some Excel file. How the system knows what is debit, what is credit in your Excel file? So there is a process called mapping. So when you map, you are simply saying which column is what. So the system is asking GL name, opening balance, debit, credit, and net. So where is the GL name in your Excel file? You have to say that. Maybe your GL name is in particulars. Possible. Okay. Maybe your opening balance is in opening balance. Maybe in your debits or in debit. Some people write DR, some people write debit, some people write whatever it is. Okay. And the net balance, some people may have it, may not have it. Okay. So once you say this, then the system can read the data. Okay. Now we have uploaded an Excel file and say that which column has to be read as what. Now, shall you load it into your balance sheet or not? You can load it, you can unload it, you can do as you want. So if I click on that action icon plus, what happens is it will get loaded to my trial balance. Now it is loaded. It moved up. So therefore, now my financial statements are based on 2 trial balances. Okay. So please take care. Don't upload trial balance once and daybook once. It will take trial balance one time, daybook one time, and it will add both. It can't, it cannot evaluate whether you are doing it purposefully or the data is like that. Okay. So similarly, I can even upload a daybook from JSON format, the third one. So if I click on that, Now I have to go to my tally folder and I can select any one of them. So I have to give it a name. The same process. Now I have uploaded a whole day book. In fact, it is not even trial balance, it is a day book. So because it is a day book, yeah. Now if I say it as upload, I mean, consider it. So I have to say load it, click on that. There is no mapping required because it is from Tally. Tally data is already organized. So for Tally data, mapping is not required. Okay, because Tally data is already organized, the column names are fixed, the data structure is fixed. Yeah, there is a question, what is the advantage of JSON over Excel file? Uh, so JSON, the format is fixed and the errors are there are no possibility of an error. If you download a Tally data into Excel, there could be a lot of problems like instead of plus minus, they use DRCR and the DRCR will not be read by Excel. That is one problem. And sometimes the date is not continuous. After 1/4, there will be 6 or 7 blank lines. So let us say on 1/4, there are 10 transactions. He will give 1/4 only once and it will not continue. Okay. There could be, and data in Excel is very slow when compared to JSON. JSON is a powerful format. Yeah, ODBC is also good, but ODBC is very, very old style. ODBC works on only Windows. It will not work on Mac. It will not work on Linux. ODBC is invented by Microsoft. So ODBC will work only for Microsoft servers or Windows servers. So that is one problem. And for ODBC to work, your tally should be on, your data should be on all the time. And another bigger problem is that if you open ODBC and then go to tally and change the Excel file or close the tally data, it won't work. Okay. So therefore, it is always better to make it offline. Otherwise, it is okay. Yeah. In tally, closing balance is prefixed with CR or DR. How DR, CR? Yeah, yeah. That is what system will do on its own, sir. So there are certain what you call the rules or ML kind of thing, machine learning kind of thing that is written. Based on that, based on the data that is uploaded, it will read on its own. So if it is JSON, it is possible. But if it is Excel, you have to take care of the accuracy of the data. Okay. So Excel, of course, if your Excel file contains certain mistakes or the data is not proper, it will throw the system back. It will be thrown back. Anyway, this is done. Now, because my trial balance is uploaded, if I go to my trial balance section one more time, you can see whatever I have uploaded from trial balance will come under trial balance. Let us understand the structure. Whatever I have uploaded from daybook will come from trial balance from daybook section. Okay, you can do both parallelly, but be a bit careful of that. Okay, now I have uploaded my trial balance and daybook. Now, what is the advantage of doing this is I can see the GL name on the left hand side. Let us understand the structure of this first. So GL name, location, it will support multi locations. So any number of locations and any number of trial balances I can upload. And the next column is mapped to. So for every GL, you shall decide to which line item of the balance sheet it is linked to, which we call it as mapping to or linking to the financial statements. Okay. So this linking to the financial statements, we will do it in chart of accounts page. So I'll go to that a little later. First, let me complete this structure. So trial balance from daybook, and coming to the right hand side, any rectification audit JVs that you pass that are there. And the last one is action. This is very important. In any audit, in any screen you go, the last buttons are these MNC, memos, notes, communications. Okay, so if you find any mistake, or if you want to record any adverse observation, you can raise a memo. That is the orange icon. Okay, if you want to write any notes, you can write your notes. If you want to write, if you want to communicate with either internally with your team or externally to the third party, like your accountant or anyone, so you can simply click on that last icon, communicate, and you can write it. It will go as a mail or it will go as a login. There are multiple ways in this. Anyway, I'll go into that maybe tomorrow or maybe today at the end. These MNC icons are common icons. That is a point I want to make here. So you want to raise any memo, notes, or communication on any one of them. That is one point. Now, I have uploaded my daybook. So therefore, the system knows the inner details of a ledger also. If you upload trial balance, the system can't know, obviously. Okay. Anyway, all the options are available. Now, let us click on one of the ledgers. So there is one ledger by name Bala, and the transactions are like 55 lakh. So if I click on that, I will be able to see the whole ledger here itself in AnyAudit. So you can see going to the top, there are about 568 transactions, 586 transactions are there. Okay, so I am able to see the ledger here, and there are two views, condensed view and a detailed view, just like in Tally. So if you say condensed view, it will only show the net amount of that JV, like what is a net amount of the JV, like 10,000, whatever it is. So we are not having a detail, like if there are 2 debits and 4 credits, in a condensed view, I'm seeing the net impact. If I click on a detailed view, which is always suggested, the detailed view is always suggested. And if you click on the detailed view, it will come to, you are able to see the whole ledger. Okay. So what is the advantage of having the whole ledger here? Okay. Now on a right hand side, there are a lot of icons. So there are some icons there. Each icon is a data analytical icon. So now we are going into another module of AnyAudit by name data analytics, sampling and sampling selection. Okay. So these steps are common and you can do lot of powerful analytics on this data. Okay. Like for example, you want to stratify it, you want to filter it, you want to render, you want to write your own query, like in Excel, you want to filter it out. You want to do random sampling, you want to do Pareto sampling. So all sort of samplings are possible. Okay. And in fact, it requires a specialized session because there are a lot of things. If you go to the top, there are advanced systems are also there, like materiality, you can decide sample value, tolerable error, expected error, and confidence level. So this is like an high level statistical kind of a thing. Okay, anyway, I'll go to that in a phased manner, just not to overwhelm. All options are available. That is the only point. Now let us go step by step. Now I'm able to see all of the ledgers here. Now I can run any rule I want on this. Like for example, I want to see it, I want to see the Bala account in a summary form. Like for each voucher type, how much of amount is there? How much of credit amount is there? So there is, let me go take one icon. There is a bivariate analysis. So if I click on the bivariate analysis, I can do that. Okay. So I can do counterparty GL on one side, net credit on one side. If I click on that, I will see a summary of, so where from Bala account is debited or credited with. So Bala is credited with billings, cash, CGST, all of them are there. Okay. So maybe Bala is a proprietor or maybe Bala is one of the, what you call a vendor, could be something like that. Okay. Anyway, we'll go into data analytics a little later because if I jump onto one module to another module, it will be confusing. So the point here is collection of data. I stop there. So how can I collect the data? And once you collect the data, what you can do is you can select the journals that you want to test, or you can select any sample that you want to test. Like for example, I select fifth item and sixth item. So on the left hand side, there is a selection. In any screen, selection is on left hand side. That is a common norm that we follow. So I am selecting two samples and I want to perform some audit on that. So you are a partner and let us say you want to give this work to your employee or articles. How do you do that? So you have collected the data. So on these two journals, you want some testing to be done. So what you can do is you can suggest an audit action to be done at the top. So if you click there, you can say who has to perform what. So what procedure is to be done on these two samples? Checklist is to be filled, balance confirmation is to be obtained, physical verification is to be carried out, whatever the kind of an audit that you want to implement on those two, that you can. Advantage of sampling. Okay, so I will go into this topic deeper later. My point here is after collecting the data and analyzing the data, what we are going to do with that. So select a procedure, let us say checklist, and you give what checklist is to be filled, like cash sales or verification of taxes or whatever the kind of the checklist. A is done. Yeah, any transaction, no problem. Example, it is only an example. Now, who has to perform this? Who has to verify this? Who? So in their login, it will go and sit. You need not mention that it has to be done by them and all. Yeah. Yeah, I'm coming there, sir. SP Agarwal, sir. So if the selection is manual, will it not be biased? Yes. So I'm not saying it has to be manually done. There are a lot of it. For the sake of first example, I'm taking manual selection. So there are a lot of it. Random selection is there. A lot of them are there. Okay. So what I'm doing is on these steps, I am initiating a purchase transaction verification to be done. Okay. So if I select them and I scope it, what will happen is in my execution, automatically the purchase transactions will appear as my pending work to be done. And it will go to the maker and a checker in their logins. They will see. So if you do this, what your sub staff have to do is just open the system. So all of this need not be trained to all the members in an office. So maybe a mid-level or a partner kind of a body has to be aware of this. Normally, what an execution or a article student will be doing is they simply go to the checklist, fill the checklist, collect the fact, get the evidences, record it there. If anything is wrong, they will write. That's it. Okay. So it is your choice. How you use is your choice. Now, if we have selected two samples, right? Now, if I go to that particular checklist, like purchase verification checklist, all 10. Yeah. So purchase transaction verification checklist, you can see voucher number 12 and 20 samples have come there. So if you click there, there will be a questionnaire on left hand side and answering on right hand side. Okay. And you can see beautifully the whole work structure is written on the top. So audit population vouchers, audit sample 17, procedure type, purchase type verification to be done by in charge, or what is a kind of a thing that we are, the voucher details are also shown on the top for the whoever is filling this. In order to understand, the voucher details are also shown on the top. The narration, the GL name, everything of that GL has also come. Now here I can execute to the audit. Okay, so this is the advantage of doing the data analytics. Now, what if the data is not coming from an accounting package? What if it is not a daybook or ledger? Every time the data is not in a form of a daybook. So maybe I am collecting my fixed asset register. Maybe I will collect sales register. Maybe from the workings of an accountant, I am taking some data dump. It is possible. So all of that is available in the next module. So let me go there. Left hand side menu. Okay. So there is data collection module. So I can come to this data collection, and in the data collection also there is an Excel upload feature. So I can upload any Excel file here. Okay. So click on Excel uploads, just like how you did your trial balance, you're uploading the transactional data dump here. So therefore it is not restricted to one accounting package. It is not restricted to one sort of data, or it is not restricted to one audit. It is possible for anything. Okay. Now let us say there is sales register, there is investment register, there are GSTR1 registers. So you have downloaded one from the site. Can you upload it here? The answer is yes. So you have to just put it in Excel and then upload it. Okay. So let us go to some sales register or fixed asset register. Anything, sales register. Okay. Now this is my sales register dump. Particulars, buyer, voucher number, GSTN, So a lot of structures are there. So there is no debit credit, then it is not a day book. It is a data dump. It's what you call as a discrete data. So it is a discrete data. You have collected the discrete data and uploaded it here. Okay. Now, once you select a sample, what we have to do that we have already discussed. So let us again start with two random selection, one or two. Yeah. So here I can decide the work. So therefore, even if you collect the day book or even if you collect the random data, the structure is similar. Okay. Even in your financial statement module, even in your data collection module, the structure is similar. Okay. Now we are left with another 15 minutes. So I will go through one special or a technical topic, data collection and analytics. Okay. So what are all the analytical capabilities that are there in AnyAudit that I will go through. So from the financial statements, how do I prepare balance sheet, P&L? How do I prepare my whatever you call disclosures or ratios, or how do I decide my materiality? That we will cover in the next tomorrow's session. Okay. So today we are concentrating on what analysis is possible in any audit, how best I can select my sample. So in a way, Agarwal sir, your question is also the same. Like if you select manually, will there not be a bias? Yes, there will be a bias. So therefore, there are a lot of tools and techniques. Okay, so let us first go through those names because there are many in number. I cannot run all of them. So the first one is duplicated transactions. So in the data dump, if there are any duplicated transactions, the system will pick it up for us. Okay, and the next one is pivot. The next one is bivariate. Okay. And just going forward, I'll only touch upon certain important things. Yeah, this is stratify. So it will chop the data into multiple stratas. So it will allow you to take data sampling in a better way. And the next one is the last icons are, yeah. So this is random sampler. Okay. And this is a systematic unit sampling or monitor unit sampling, we can call Pareto sampler. So if you click on random sampler, the system will statistically generate a sample without any bias. Okay. Now let us first understand the data. We have buyers, we have particulars, we have voucher numbers, and we have gross total. Okay. Now let us say there are 891 transactions. First, how many buyers are there? I want to know this. How to know? Simple. So there is a bivariate third icon. I'm clicking on that. This is a little technical session, sir. I'm just drawing the attention of everyone. So I'll go a bit slow also. And if there are any questions, please intervene. Yeah. So what I'm taking buyer on one side and gross total on one side. I'm submitting. So I will see the summary of list of buyers. So there are 86 buyers. Okay. I can download this as an Excel file also. Now, for each of the buyer, the system had calculated the sum as a percentage to the population, the count. So like how many transactions are in cash without any buyer. So the count, you sort it up and down. You sort by count. So there are 483 transactions in your sales register where there is no buyer, but there is only cash. Means they are like over the counter. Okay. And then maximum number of transactions are with the Shivapriya Agro Products. Okay. And the average sale to Shivapriya is 458, 4,58,000. Okay. So all of this data is analysis is just at a click of a button, it will allow. Now, if can you do it in Excel? The answer is absolutely yes. But in Excel, if you have to do this, you have to write a formula. Okay. It is like graphical user interface, simply select and then just drag whatever you want on mouse, you will be able to do that. With very little, what you call train or with very little practice, you'll be able to do all of them. Now, I want to go into one particular entity. Let us say DNR firms. So there are 13 transactions with the DNR firms. So if I click on that, I will go into DNR firms. Now let us say I'm selecting all the transactions with the DNR firms. and I want to run an audit action. So there are certain audit actions available on the top. One is scoping, the another one is classifying, the another one is risk scoring. So what is risk scoring? Let us say DNR firms is having a third party risk. Okay, he's a risky debtor. So I want to map all of the transactions with some risk scoring. You can do whatever you want. So click on that. You select the kind of a risk they are carrying, like third party risk or whatever the kind of the risk they have. Uh, like third party risk, how much of third party risk is there? Let us say 5 out of 5 or 3 out of 5. So if you say that, so you are saying that you're saying to the system that they carry a third party risk. Okay. Now, this is one way. It is not the only way. Multiple ways are there. Now, another beautiful thing on a right hand side, you see there is a log history. Okay. Now, I have performed a transaction. I did a bivariate and I have selected all the transactions with DNR firms. The system had automatically logged it on the right hand side. You can see the query is also shown by firms. Okay. So therefore, this will help for our documentation. If you don't want that query, you can if you want a provisional storage, if you want to keep it, keep it. You want to delete it, delete it. Okay. The internet connection is unstable. What happened? Power going. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for that. Now, when you run a transaction, you can select on which you want to select. Now, I'm clicking on show all. Now the whole data dump, the whole sales register 891 are there. I want to stratify the whole sales data. So stratification is one of the audit techniques, one of the techniques of analyzing. So I want to stratify the data into certain buckets, like typically 10 buckets people take. So we will also take 10 buckets. Now value wise, if I take 10 buckets, so from each bucket, how much of sales is like from 0 to 1 lakh, how much of sale, from 1 lakh to 10 lakh, how much of sale. Now this is how it is. Most of my sale is in the back bucket of 500 to 67,000. About about 90% of my transactions are there. 89% of the transactions are there. Now, the data is, you can see, you are visualizing the data in a way to understand where from the data is coming. And if you click on any one of those bars, you will in fact go into that bar. Okay. So this is another way of analyzing the data. I'm just saying the options. Okay. So once you go through that, master that, it will be very good for you. It will be very, very easy. Now show all. Show all. Now there is a random sampler. Now I can say to the system how to pick up a sample, how to pick up a random sample. So I can say that from every buyer, get me 2 transactions. So there are about 85 buyers we have seen. So that it will give me around some 170 or 180 transactions. So it had given me 145 transactions. So from every buyer, what I'm doing, I'm asking the system to get a sample. Okay. So like this, you can run any query without any knowledge of a formula. Just what is a button, how to use that button. If you run through the manual, within 2-3 hours, you can analyze the data in any way you want. So all of this is analyzing the data by your own self. Now, if it is a GL data, because GL data, the definition is already known. So there are certain additional icons. So let us go to GL data and we will see that also. Just a moment. Before that, let me do some more data analytics here. I'll do. Now, let us say there is one blank column, tax invoice and bill of supply. Now, I want a sample, 2 from tax invoice and 2 from bill of supply. Let me do that. So I will go to random sampler, select that column. Column name is blank. Get 2 transactions. So from tax invoices, I'm getting 2. From bill of supply, I'm getting 2. So I got 4 transactions. But is it a proper way to do? May not be a proper way to do, because there could be more tax invoices and tax invoices are more relevant for us qualitatively. Okay, bill of supply may not be that relevant because there is no tax on them. So therefore, maybe I will change my sampling technique. So I will say that again, I am running a sampler. Again, I am running a sampler. This time what I am saying is, instead of getting two as a sample, what I am saying to the system is that, so from each of that invoice and bill of supply, get me 5% of the transactions. So if I say 5%, so if tax invoices are 2000, it will get me 100. If there are only 10 bill of supply, it will get only one sample. So it is more representative. So you will see 45 records are there, more tax invoices are coming, less bill of supplies are coming. Okay. And there is a lot to it. In fact, there are a number of icons there. There is a Benford analysis. There is a statistical anomaly detection is that. So I just don't want to go into advanced topics because the 4 hours is like what it can be done. Now, when you go deep into one particular area, we can go. Okay. Anyway, all of those icons at the top will help us in getting that. Now, let us go to one GL. Now, sales register is a data dump. So let us differentiate between the two kinds of data. One is a discrete data, no debit, no credit. It's a flat file we call. It's a flat Excel. So that also you can analyze and take a sample. Or you can go to GL. You can go to GL and you can get the transactions mapped to a particular GL. Now I'm going to trial balance again. I'm going to that particular GL. I'm going to the same GL Bala again. Yeah, because it is a general ledger, the buttons are different. You can see, of course, some buttons are common, but some buttons are different. So you can see there are three buttons at the beginning, 1, 2, 3. So what are they? One are related party transactions. So the second one is all cash transactions. The third one is unusual transactions. So let us say if Bala is a creditor, then I should have only expenses and tax and TDS payable. Anything other than that is unusual. If it is a fixed asset, then only acquisition and depreciation should be there. Otherwise, it is an unusual, like sale or something. So what is unusual can also be defined. Now let us just click on related party transactions. Let us see how many related party in this particular ledger, there are no related party transactions. Okay. Why? Because when I go to my chart of accounts, I have not mapped any related party transactions. Now, if I go to my chart of accounts and map that these are my parties and these are my related parties. So let us say Sundari and Harshasri as related parties. Let us mark them. So I'll go there. I'll go to my chart of accounts. And by the way, chart of accounts is a lifetime activity because year 24-25, year 25-26, chart of accounts will not change. Okay. So I'm selecting Sundari, search further, Control F. I'm editing that. I'm saying that it is to be considered as a party. Okay. No, no, no. Party master. Party master. So these are my party masters. So here I can define all my parties. Okay. So yeah, type Sundari. Mhm. So here I am adding a party by name Sundari. And I am saying whether it is related, whether it is MSME, whether it is disputed, some master I am building. Okay, if the data is there, I can upload it also. So now if I have defined this for ABC enterprises in this year and the next year and the next year and the next year, what I can do is if I run my ledger scrutiny and say get me all the related party transactions, the system will automatically pick it up. Okay, now let us go there. So all transactions with Sundari were highlighted. Okay. So the moment it could be from any ledger, it could be to any ledger. So similarly, the options that are available for GL scrutiny are different. So here there is no manual bias. So here I'm not spending time to write any queries and all. So just by a click of button, I can play around with the data. And playing this data, in fact, is to form an opinion, like where I have to dig deep. So let us say all of these transactions, I want to go for some balance confirmation or some other procedure. So what I have to do, I can do it in the system. So select all, decide what kind of audit you want to do on them. So you click there. So either you do or your staff will do. So you define what is the procedure you want to adapt. It could be balance confirmations. It could be physical inspections or whatever the kind of a thing. Okay. So that is how it will go. Yeah. So there is a question. Do you think FSS is to be prepared by management? Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes. Fully concur with you. We are not preparing here the financial statements to print, or we are not preparing financial statements. We are only considering the trial balance, and the system is preparing financial statements just to compare. That's it. Okay. Agarwal sir, fully concurred with you. In fact, um, it is not the auditor cannot do. In fact, he should not do also by code of conduct or whatever it is. Of course, there could be an assignment for compilation of financial statements. So where I am just compiling the financial statements for management as an internal audit function. That way, a chartered accountant can definitely do that. So here, the print financial statements are not there. The analytical financial statements are there. Like if you go to comparatives, anyway, financial statements I want to cover more tomorrow because I cannot rush it up. Just to answer the question, going to the financial statements. So here you can see it will generate financial statements like this: equity, shareholder, share capital, reserves, capital reserves. So in a tree structure, the current year, previous year differences, where the differences is huge, it will mark. You can define materiality. You can define risk of misstatement. So you can click on them and do your audit notes. So you can click that, go to the ledger, analyze the ledger. So you can do the audit part. Okay. While at the same time, um, as a this one, we started with audit. For a financial statement preparation with the disclosures and all, there is another tool. Anyway, that is not in today's brief, so I'm not going into that. We have another tool. AnyAudit had got another tool that will do that further. Anyway, leaving it aside, now Nishant, I will share screen because it is already 5 o'clock. So I'm going to my PPT again. So this is a flow diagram again. So just a quick recap, 1 minute. So we set up, planned what to do, all steps, collected the facts. Facts have in turn raised a lot of automatic decisions, automatic filling of drafts and all. We did the preliminary data and we collected data. Data you can collect from financials, data you can collect from data, raw data. And the financials that you collect, you can perform ledger scrutiny. I have only covered a little bit. I'll cover a little bit more in tomorrow's session. And once I collected the data, I can do the sampling. So whether it is from GL, TB, or whether it is from raw data, or whether it is from a GL scrutiny, the activity, the step of these three, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 steps, financials, ledger scrutiny, and the data is to know where to dig deep. In fact, we have not started the audit. We have analyzed the data, formed an opinion that these are the risky areas. Okay. So there are certain advanced statistic concepts also, like monetary unit sampling, tolerable error, and then confidence levels. So there are high level statistical sampling techniques also. So maybe I may not be covering all of them. I may be touching one or two for a minute or so uh, because that will be that I cannot be done in this way. It requires some more time. That is the only point. Now, in tomorrow's this one, we will be covering the rest. Okay, like how do we do internal control and process verification? That is one part. So that also leaving apart. Once we selected this, how do we do entity level procedure and transaction level procedures? How do we record audit findings? How do we finalize them? How do we generate reports? How do we sign off review and then go for documentation? So that way it makes an end-to-end ERP for auditors. So just going back step by step. So as I said, it is a platform to execute. So documentation, work paper, work allocation. So we have did lot of work allocation, timesheet management, who has to do what, calendar. So if you write a query on 5th of July, what is the work of Mr. Nishant? So it will give his calendar ready-made because there are all inbuilt modules for that. So they are all incidental sideline benefits that will anyway flow. So the concept is from the era not documented is not done. We have to move to done is documented. So that way it is not stopping with digitization of audit. So we are moving into automation of audit. Okay. Now, if you fill a checklist based on yes or no questions, it will take certain corrective actions on its own. Now, if you say there is an overstatement of asset, it will generate or it will update CARO reports on its own. So there is a lot of automation that is coming up. And so thanks a lot for the patient listening. From 52 in a start. Yes, sir. How do you determine materiality? So that also I haven't covered. So tomorrow I'll start with financials, determination of materiality. So I'll complete that part first, and then I'll go into the rest of the things. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, thanks a lot, sir. It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure, and thanks a lot to the institute for the noble gesture of bringing all the people together because it builds the capacity. Uh, Affordability, sir. This is on CMP. CMP's benefit. You please refer that site. There was a very huge deep discount going on, and then it is available. And on a value add and on of that, it is very affordable. That is what it is. Anyway, we cannot discuss prices and all in this one. You can refer the site website. You can go to institute site. From there, you log in for CMP to avail the benefits. That should not be a big issue. That is what we feel at least. Yeah. So thanks a lot, sir. Allowed to hear from any one of you may
We can do it tomorrow,
unmute
sir.
and then do. Yeah, CM.
We
Yeah,
can
please, sir.
tomorrow, sir, because we have other meetings aligned. So thank you
Yeah,
everyone participating, and we will see you tomorrow, sir. Thank you so much for the session, sir.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, can we do documentation? We'll take everything tomorrow, sir.
Yes, sir. You can share the
Yes,
PPT. I will share it to the participants. Okay, if you want.
definitely.
Yeah,
Right away. Right away.
okay, no worries.
We'll do it right away. Thank you.